Hello everyone, welcome to day 20 of FourFourTwo's Eurochamp 2016 daily video update here from FourFourTwo HQ at McGettigan's at Singapore's Clarke Quay. My name is James Damney and our special guest today is Raj Kumar.
Morning.
Morning, presenter and sports producer at Singapore's Power 98 FM. Welcome Raj, thank you for joining us. How have you found the Euros so far?
It's been rather interesting. I think seeing some of the lesser known teams, the lower profile teams making real inroads in this tournament has been probably, a delight to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so with today being a rest day as the 8 remaining teams prepare for the quarterfinals, we'll take a look at some of those matchups, discuss the race for the Golden Boot, plus some of the standout performances to date. We'll start off with quarterfinal focus.
Yeah.
So the matchups, we've got Poland versus Portugal and Wales versus Belgium on one side of the draw, Germany versus Italy and France versus Iceland on the other side. So we've got some of the real superpowers in world football still in contention, plus a couple of surprise packets like you mentioned, like Wales and of course Iceland, who really are the talk of the tournament at the moment. I know you're a Germany fan when it comes to European competition. Which of those fixtures stands out to you most and who's impressed you so far in the tournament?
I think without a doubt, the pick of the 4 quarterfinals would be Germany versus Italy, and because of the long history that's in this particular fixture. It's been close to 55 years since the Germans last beat the Azzurri, going back to 1962. And since then, 8 straight meetings, 4 losses, 4 draws, especially the most recent ones with losing to the Italians at home at the World Cup in the semi-finals in 2006, and then recently in the Euros, the semi-finals as well. So I think that, payback and revenge has got to be on the minds of the Germans. And the Azzurri, I think they might struggle a little because of the fact that they've got Thiago Motta, who's suspended. Daniel De Rossi did take a knock in the recent round of 16 match, so it remains to be seen whether he'll be fit enough for the clash against the Germans, who have no suspensions, no injuries to worry about. And I think the Germans, after a rather slow start against the Ukrainians and Poland, I think they managed to pick them, step up a gear against Northern Ireland. Was it Northern Ireland? In the round of 16, at least they managed to hammer the Slovakians.
Yes.
And I think they are going into this match against the Azzurri with all guns blazing. It won't be a big scoreline. I think the Germans would probably get them by just the odd goal, and they haven't conceded as well.
Yeah, they seem to be sort of building nicely into the tournament as they go along. So you just mentioned some of those, I guess they're so-called lesser lights. There's been some critics of the expanded tournament, adding those sort of extra teams. What's been your take on that?
I think the fact that there are 55 football associations in UEFA, and we now finally see 24 of them competing at the highest level, I think it was a good move to have expanded the tournament, and we finally now get the chance to see the likes of like the fairy tale run of Iceland competing at the highest level for the first time, now in a quarterfinal stage. And you see teams like Albania losing to the Swiss and then beating Romania, and also the fact that they lost to the French only with 2 late goals in the 88th, and the Hungarians, having been in the wilderness for the last 30 years, finally doing really well, only to lose out, unfortunately, by a big scoreline to the Belgians. And even the Welsh, almost 60 years since their last major appearance in the 58 quarterfinal in the World Cup against Brazil. And then they just disappeared, and now they are on the verge of going into uncharted territory as they take on the Belgians as well.
Yeah,
so
they've been
I
impressive.
think the format of expanding to 24, I think, has worked so far.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen some of the bigger teams fall away, and some of these teams obviously progress. So, so next up, we're going to look at the race for the Golden Boot. You mentioned Wales, obviously their star man Gareth Bale, and also Antoine Griezmann from France. They lead the way with 3 goals apiece. Then we've got a bunch of guys on 2 goals, including Ronaldo, Dimitri Payet, of course, Mario Gomez, Graziano Pella. So out of all of that, who do you think might come through and actually win the Golden Boot?
I think it all depends on who's going to go all the way. If the French can overcome the quarterfinalists, and then as in Iceland, and then maybe a potential showdown against the Germans and go all the way to the final, then I think Griezmann would probably be a real candidate for the award. Likewise for the Germans, Gomez has 2 goals. So if he can score 1 or 2 against the Italians and in the semi-final, then I think he's a sure bet of winning the award. But you can't rule out Gareth Bale. 2 great goals, I think, when he scored from long range against England. And I think if the Welsh can continue their fairy tale run, leave Iceland out of it, then I think Gareth Bale is also a sure bet for the award.
Okay, well, I had Lewandowski coming into it, so he would have to do something pretty extraordinary to get
Yeah,
back, get back into
I
it
mean,
now.
the Polish, they had they managed to hold the Germans to a credible goalless draw.
0-0,
but then, it took them, when they took out the Swiss, it was only by a penalty shootout. So it's going to take a lot more for Lewandowski to actually reach there. But having said that, the Poles have managed to get up to this point without
without
much
sort of
from
relying on him.
Lewandowski.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so next up is play of the tournament, and actually, for me, it comes from the game that you just mentioned, that penalty shootout. But it's Xherdan Shaqiri's overhead kick, which to me is the number one play of the tournament so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the degree of difficulty, what it meant for the team, all of that. So, what are some of your favourite moments, and also what are your thoughts on that goal?
I would concur with that as well, because of the fact that of the gravity of the situation. They were already trailing, and then for the ball to just fall like that, and for him to take it on that half volley, and it was an overhead kick and a scissors kick sort of combined, but I think some of the other golden moments would also include Jerome Boateng scoring the opening goal against Slovakia. It came off a corner, and then it was a high ball that was falling down, and Jerome just came in and just blasted it, and for his first international goal for the Germans. Another one, and the other two, like as we mentioned earlier about Gareth Bale having scored against England and the opening match as well. So to score from almost 30 meters out is not an easy thing to do, but he's got a sweet left foot. Let's see if he can reproduce it one more time at least against the Belgians. So, like you said, Shaqiri for me, and Boateng and Bale.
Okay. I also remember Boateng's clearance off the line in defensive,
Saved.
which was not a bad move as well.
Yeah.
I guess if you looked at some of these big names coming into it, like Ibrahimovic, Gareth Bale, some of these guys were under a lot of pressure. But I think out of all of that, Gareth Bale would be the one who's really come through, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the fact that we talked about it earlier, the fact that this has also been a fairy tale run for the Welsh. I mean, and they are the only UK side left in the tournament. It's a pity that England and the campaign has come to an end. And I've got to say that, I mean, for the last 20 years being in the broadcast scene, I've always ridiculed and criticized England. Yes. I've always said that they are the most overhyped and overrated team.
I don't think you're alone.
Yeah, but on the show that we appeared on the radio show about 3 weeks ago, when I said it was going to be probably a Germany-England final, for once I stuck out my neck for England because of the fact that Roy Hodgson had managed to assemble a really talented pool of youngsters. And then for them to see them collapse against the Icelanders, and to see Hodgson stepping down.
Yeah, well, immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had Spain making the final, so we're both a little bit off the mark. All right, so before I let you go, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you think we're going to see in the final, and who's going to run away with the main prize?
I think at this point in time with the draw, it looks like it's going to be a Germany-Belgium final.
Okay. And what do you think the outcome might be?
I would love to say Germany or Deutschland, but I think once it's at the final, it's anything goes.
I mean, Belgium's a team that's sort of flatter to deceive. I mean, they've never really come through in these major tournaments, but it feels like they're sort of clicking at the right time, maybe?
I think they are. I mean, especially after that opening loss against the Azzurri, and then they did make amends, and that 4-0 hammering of in the round of 16.
Yeah. And, Hungary.
Correct. Yeah. The Hungarians, it's a pity. I mean, they did well against Portugal, 3-3, holding Ronaldo's. He's another one who's not really risen to the occasion as yet. But you never know. I mean, still got a quarter-final match to go. So I think Belgium are coming into it at the right time, but I don't think they might be able to get the job done in the final. I mean, you've got history on the side of the French having won the World Championship and the Euros in the 90s. The Spaniards just did it in the last 6 years. So why not the reigning world champions?
It makes sense. It'll be nice to see. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Raj, for coming on the show. We'll keep listening out for you on Power 98 FM.
And you'll be appearing on our show on the 9th of July at 11.
I'll be there, getting ready for the final, a Euro final. So don't forget the McGettigans here at Clarke Quay is your home for all things Euros. We'll be here for all the quarterfinals, starting with Poland, Portugal at 3 a.m. on Friday morning. So we'll see you soon, and bye for now.